Welcome to my channel, everyone. In this video we are going to talk about SUI, Avalanche, HBAR and Dogecoin. Things remain exciting, so make sure to watch until the end. So let's just start with SUI. So for SUI we have said that $3.65, if they break to the upside, not a big deal as long as we don't break the $3.75 to the upside. Afterwards I took the loss for my short trades. I still assume this was because of the JP Morgan report. So JP Morgan did some research and they have said a 0.25% rate cut is going to be bearish. And once we actually saw the 0.25% rate cut from the Fed, I have seen so many short trades. And this lasted until Jerome Powell ended his speech. Afterwards, market turned. Market went bullish. Probably liquidated all of those short positions. Now we are bearish again. So I have did a community post yesterday that I couldn't do an update because I was outside enjoying the weather a little bit. So I took short trades in that area for all of the coins, and I also de-risk right now because the sell-off which we have seen here is far too sharp and we can expect a bounce, and I expect the bounce happening very soon. That's why I took profits before I recorded the Bitcoin update. So basically maybe 30 minutes, 45 minutes, round about that before. So I can say this head and shoulders formatation, it got invalidated. So I can take this one out of the chart. This trend line here, okay, it was also a support trend line, but we broke to the downside. This is an upwards trend line. I can take this one out of the chart. The arrow which I have drew here, I can also take this one out of the chart because we broke to the upside. The only thing is that what I have drew right here, it doesn't have to start down below here. It can also start from up here. And then we still have the same price movement to the downside, just from a different price mark. So before we were thinking $3.65, from there we should sell off with a very high chance. The chance was also very high there, but there's always a probability that we are going to invalidate it. And yeah, we invalidated. In the end of the day, we went perfectly even into a target, and that's what I have also seen right before the Bitcoin update, where I checked again all the coins for YouTube. Like before I do YouTube videos, I always check the coins again. This rising wedge broke to the upside in the past, and the target was $3.97 with that push. Yeah, we didn't went perfectly into that target, but very, very close to it. So I can take this one out of the chart finally, so we can see a bit more in the chart. So I have also in bright blue another rising wedge, but falling wedge, but yeah, I actually don't like this one anymore because we tried to break it to the upside, we invalidated it, now we broke it again to the upside, and still selling off very sharp, so it is not bullish at all right now. So I can take this out of the chart. So now we can see a bit more, and what you can see right now is a far more bearish chart pattern. Rising wedge for now. If it breaks to the downside at the price mark of currently $3.58, then it would be bearish. The price mark which I would look for is $3.52. If that price mark breaks to the downside, then I think with a very high chance we should sell off at least into our support box, which is the area between $3.36 to $3.30 for SUI. So basically, we have to be a bit more careful right now. This sell-off which we have seen, and the sell-off happened since yesterday, so since 24 hours. This is a sell-off of 8.5%. This doesn't look bullish at all. So we have to see that for short term, like for the long term, I still expect far lower prices. But for the short term, I would still look for the $3.75. that we fill the fair value gap, and from here, or even a step higher, doesn't matter, but from there start a bigger movement to the downside. And yes, we can also see sell-offs like this, minus 8.5% within a few hours in almost one straight line to the downside. But what I always say is the exchange is not a one-way street. That means it goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. The question is, how much does it go up and how much does it go up? And then how much does it go down? Because then we have a downtrend if it's going to continue like this. On the other hand, if we push, then it's not a big deal if we are going to see a pullback, because we are not on a one-way street where we form another bullish chart pattern. So we went up, we went down, and continuing up. This is an uptrend. So keep that in mind. The exchange is not a one-way street. Just because we have seen it here almost one time, that this is almost, I actually don't want to say this is one big candle, but we haven't actually seen any kind of bounce here. Those, like we can move in, those bounces are, I actually don't count this as a bounce. Like a bounce is for real if we get here, get a bigger movement like this, and from here continuing selling off. And I think that this can happen very soon. $3.75 is the price mark. There I would increase my short position. So I already took profits, but I'm ready to reinvest those profits once we get to $3.75. And I always keep in mind $3.79 can also get hit. So instead of putting all my money at $3.75, I'm keeping a little bit to put more at $3.80, round about that. If we are going to push more, then I have to leave my short trade. If not, everything is good and we can count for lower prices. If we now look over Avalanche crazy. So basically we were thinking double top pattern can develop. Okay, not a big deal. We broke it to the upside, so we invalidated it. What I have drew here, in my opinion, is just going to happen from up here. So basically I have to take it out of the chart, otherwise we can't see anything. But if I make this orange trend line a bit longer, then I can actually think about a chart pattern which is even more bearish than the one which we had before. And I'm talking about a possible head and shoulders formatation. We just have 50% right now of that pattern. But once we start off to 28.38, get a bounce here, then we have a bigger head and shoulders formatation. Before we just took the length of the tops right here. If we get this kind of pattern, then we can take the length of the whole head, put it to the downside, and target is going to be somewhere at $20.50 for now. But for that, for sure, we have to develop this pattern. I still think that the chance is high that we are going to see this. I have done it a few times, my speculations, it worked pretty often. So far, I don't know what to say. The whole crypto market looks bearish, so why should Avalanche go very, very bullish? I know we are in the altcoin season, but this is typical unusual that coins are selling off and other coins are doing new tops and going for 100-200%. Yeah, I know we see it with BNB right now, but still, I don't think that Avalanche can be compared to BNB right now. I still expect, since we have many fair value gaps down below, and those fair value gaps, those are two big fair value gaps, they reach even prices down to $26.90. This would also be the breakout lower than $28.38. And then we have to see where Avalanche is going to go and what kind of chart pattern we are going to develop. If we are now looking over HBAR, for HBAR we had a chart pattern, this bear flag. It even broke to the downside. This was the only bear flag which also actually broke to the downside. But the bear flag didn't work out how we wanted it to be. So basically I have to take this one out of the chart because we invalidated it. I can also take out this scenario which I have drew here out of the chart, because this also got invalidated. This target here as well. And this target here, we went into that perfectly. I can take this one out as well. We have also set 24.2 cents if they break to the upside, and we should see the top area somewhere here. Happened also, not perfectly, but still happened. And now it looks like to me like a double top pattern. So on the short term, I can still expect that we are going to see the 24.3 cents, maybe a bit more because we have a fair value gap. Then the sell-off. In that area, I want to get into more short positions. Once we sell off to 23 cents and we also break it to the downside, target 20.5 cents for HBAR. I can also take this one out of the chart. So we are even more bearish right now for the cryptos. Before we had targets to the downside, which were also, maybe 10%. Now we have even chart patterns which are a bit more bullish. I think this one is 15%. Yeah, minus 14%. So we have targets on the chart which are more bearish than the chart patterns which we had before. So basically nothing looks bullish right now. Same goes for Dogecoin. So for Dogecoin we have set 26 cents or 27.3 cents. It doesn't matter what happens, what is going to happen in this market stage right here. It doesn't matter. As long as we don't break to the upside or to the downside, everything can happen. First of all, we have said this here looks like a big H pattern. This H pattern got invalidated. So I can take this one out of the chart. So it was this one and this one right here. So the targets are not on the chart anymore. Do I still think that we are going to sell off? Yes. Just because we got this kind of price movement, which even went into the resistance box again. You can see the sell-off which we have, minus 8.5%. It's not looking bullish at all. We can still say that there is a good chance to see the 27.3 cents again by getting a bounce. Like for every other coin, we still have fair value gaps over us. So basically, somewhere in that area, 27.3 cents. Afterwards, sell off to 26 cents. And from there, we have to see, once this breaks to the downside, target is down below here between those price marks, 23.6 cents to 24.2 cents, in my opinion. So that's why we'll make this trend line red. And we will look over it tomorrow. I can also take out falling wedge out of the chart. Yeah, I don't like to delay chart patterns without you guys, because everything here is transparent. If I do mistakes, then I'm also standing for it. I'm taking the loss here as well. I'm not trying to manipulate my charts just to say that I'm always right and I have always 10 scenarios and one of them is always right. So basically I can always say I'm right. I'm not going to do it. I have my preferred scenario. This is currently my preferred scenario, and we will see tomorrow if I'm right or wrong. So with that said, we see each other in the Render, Tau, Kaspa and ONDO update.